Hi Libra, it's Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your December 2017 Soul Tarot reading. For all of my subscribers and regular viewers, welcome back. We have a really beautiful, profound reading for you this month, for the month of December, and specifically addressing the solstice that is arriving. And Spirit's been talking about the days before and the days after the solstice. There's a beautiful story that is coming out for all the astrological signs as we complete the work of creating the tapestry that Spirit's been talking about through the cards. And I just would like to start by showing you the cards for last month. Let me just pull them up. While I make my announcements, I want you to just gaze into this so that you can understand the impact of the cards that came out today. Libra, those are the cards for the last 2 months. So on the left, those are the cards that were literally pulled at the Sacred Passage Tomb at Douth, under the beautiful tree. I believe I showed that to you. If not, I'm going to show it to you today, okay? So as you can see, you were on a pretty intense journey. And then going into November, very deep continuation of this life-altering shift and change with a certain theme continuing throughout the readings. So I'm going to pause here and just switch back to live for a moment. Welcome everybody. You know, if you're new, it's wonderful to have you here. I think most everybody knows, but I just remind folks, if you want a reading of any kind, I have a huge amount of information right here on the channel. Scroll below the video to the information box, and there is a phrase just at the bottom. It says, show more. Click it. That's a tab. All the information about the readings, my link to make your PayPal reservation payment, information about the live event, subscription status, and events that are upcoming, all will be found there. So my email is all the way at the bottom. I do ask for a little bit of information. Make sure you include that. There's a way to put a note on your PayPal payment. If you have trouble with PayPal, folks have sent payments through with Google Payments and various things. That's fine. Just let me know what you need. There are a lot of questions coming about holiday gifts and readings for loved ones and friends, etc. Of course, that's completely fine. Just follow the instructions as you would. Send me a note, follow it up with a little email, and let me know what your intention is. Lastly, there's going to be a live stream event, a special event on the 9th of December. I'm still trying to figure out the time based on my desire to include people who are in all different time zones. I'm flip-flopping, I guess. That's why I'm hesitating. Between afternoon and evening. I'll figure it out and I'll make an announcement. This reading, Spirit wants me to do, it's about the solstice and about the tapestry that has been created while you've been going through your shift and change, along with everybody else. I would really love to have you there. If you are not signed up for a live stream subscription and you have any inclination, please do it right away. Spirit would really like to have participation from the energy set point that comes from all the astrological signs. And I'd love to have you. So let's jump in, all right? I'm going to toggle back to these two photographs. As you can see, look at the photograph on the left. On the top of that reading, there are two cards in the center. The one that's on the left represents your energy. The one that's on the right, center right, is about the sacred passageway at Newgrange. And Spirit was acknowledging your passage coming through these days as the solstice approaches. There was a very deep transformation having to do with the way you address conflict in the world around you, certainly within yourself, in your own life. But the message that was streaming through was the way in which you seek balance of these sacred issues. And the very next card on the bottom row, so we see the conflict, We see your feelings, and that card on the bottom left is about the deep upset that these two warriors had, being locked into eternal battle. They fought to the death every day, and at night they tended to each other's wounds. And they desperately wanted to come away from that cycle. That being the impetus to perfect your energy and then release your fears through a difficult process brought you to a place of intense creative fire and passion, sitting ensconced in the throne of the Queen of Art, the triple spiral of life, turning due to your passion and your ability and desire to be very creative about how you approach this issue. And then, the next month, in November, we saw a very similar depiction of that internal conflict, right in the center of your reading. The pain, the anxiety, the way in which you had shifted deeper into your relationship with Spirit about the same issue, raising your hands up and crossing over to the sacred realm, with the decider of will illuminating the reading and shining light on your journey, enabling you to shift and change, to come to a new foundation. And in those moments, Libra, you began to touch the sacred stone of destiny and wisdom and began the process of self-actualization in order to be able to shine this light and this desire onto the earth, into your own life, into your being. The very next card, and that's a prophecy card, all right? The second card on the bottom row is a prophecy about things to come. And the next step, a major arcana card, the dreamer of growth. Your ability to manifest. This is the star card in traditional tarot. Here in Soul Tarot, it's about being connected deeply with the spirit side of your nature, rooted into the universe and here into this realm. And so Spirit's asking me now to show you a photograph of the tree at Douth, under which this reading in October came out, that started the thread of this message that finishes, I think, today for you. That is a tree that grows literally out of the side of the passage tomb at Douth. If you're new and you haven't seen the readings for October and November, of course I'm urging you to go look. And as far back as you have the patience to do, Spirit says, there's been a beautiful unfolding all through 2017. And your energy set point, Libra, as an air sign, as the balancer, blowing the winds of change into your life. To have this reading, well, so Spirit's talking about this thread that's been going on now for 3 months. Coming out from underneath this beautiful tree on one of the curbstones that sits below the tree at the bottom of the passage mound. And this tree literally rooted into the wisdom of the ancients inside the mound. And that's what this card on the bottom right for the November reading, the right-hand side picture, that's what that's about. That is a visualization of a tree, the double-headed dreamer, deeply connected, deeply rooted, sacred vision, sacred ability to manifest that which you dream about. And so, again, moving on from there, another image of the sacred passage tomb at Newgrange. And so Spirit has been speaking to you very loudly in all of these ways about your manifestation and your incarnation in these days, having come here to this place. Spirit saying, to these places with me while I was on my sacred journey. We have traveled together. And there's a lot of energy coming through my heart chakra now. And I've learned there is a depth of messaging and love and compassion that is existing for you, attempting to come through the words that I am speaking and trying to channel these messages. So Spirit's talking about your journey and the fact that you found your way here to this channel, to accompany me so that I could bring the messages that Spirit was trying to get to you. And here's the sacred passage tomb at Newgrange. And these are the places through which your sacred energy, your spirit set point, have been traveling this year since January. As you have moved through your shift, change, transition, initiation, all of these things come to you in this way. And now Spirit's talking about the illumination of the sacred tree and the passage tomb at Douth. And I'm going to show you one more picture. Hang on just a sec. There we go. I don't know if you remember or if you've seen those readings. This tree spoke very loudly. A lot of readings came out, 4 actually, when I was at this passage tomb. It's very prolific. And Spirit's telling me in the moment that is why the tree is growing out of the passage tomb, in order to have a direct link from that world to this world, respirating into the atmosphere, Libra, as you do with your energy set point, aglow with that which comes out of the passage tomb. So there's a lot of information along those lines. There's one more photo that Spirit wants to show you. That is the sacred Leophale, the stone of destiny, at the sacred passage tomb at Tara, the place where kings were anointed and destiny unfolded in the ancient days. And so there is apparently there's something about your energy coming through these transitions in these 3 months, the last 3 months of the year, in order to be truly ready for the solstice that arrives in just a couple of weeks. So let's jump in to your reading for the month of December that has to do with the solstice. All right, I'm going to transition over, and I want to show you the first card that comes over the top of your reading, taking into consideration everything you see here and the passage that you have had through these days, finding this pathway, becoming able to take this sacred adventure based on the impulse that is within you and the activation that you have experienced, allowing what no longer works to fall away from your energy set point and rejoin Spirit in order to have harmony. That's the word that's coming through. So here's the first card in your message today for the month of December. That is beautiful, sacred, male energy. It is the Rememberer of Lore. That is a major arcana card. I'm going to switch over to the live stream and just show you the card. Look at that. The beautiful Rememberer. Circled in this beautiful, Spirit's talking about pine needles because of the season, and I'm in the northeast of the United States, so the seasons are shifting here. Illuminated with this beautiful energy of new life, of coming back to a place where you are now able to stand in the light of the sacred lore that you've been working toward all of this year. That is incredibly beautiful. This is the card that sits over the top of your reading, giving you the ability not only to remember that which is sacred, that which you were meant to be achieving, Spirit says, in this time. It is also illuminating the walk through December. So again, if there's anybody that's new, this card that comes out over the top is all about providing the theme, if you will, that Spirit wants to talk about, the light of this reading. Spirit saying, that which illuminates your pathway this month as you go through December with a very sacred path that has been illuminated. I'm going to show you. Let me just toggle back. Illuminated and enlivened. And that gentleman, of course, is playing the sacred harp. It is a vibrational instrument, and it is about coming into a place of understanding the deep ancient traditions. It's about being able to be performing faithful maintenance for the sacred lore and, sacred remembrance and the ability to engage in the exposition of ideas. It's about transmitting the wisdom of the deep ancient traditions by which humanity is meant to be living, the sacred lore that we need to keep within our center. It's sung by a bard, a sacred song coming forward in order to illuminate and assist you, is what Spirit is saying, as you go through your days this month. And I'm going to toggle back, and Spirit just wants me to keep showing you where you've come from and where you stand. And so Spirit's talking about the spirit illumination of this journey. So in the reading in October, we saw the beautiful warrior of art standing at the tomb, the sacred tomb at Newgrange. That's what's in the background. And it's a photograph, so to speak, Spirit says, of you having emerged from that place. The energy that emerges from that place while you fall to your knees and begin this sacred journey of shift and change. And then in November, on a major arcana card, again, beautiful male energy, exalted, Spirit says, sacred male energy, balanced and in its natural set point. That is the decider of will that sat over the top of the revelation of battle. And today, this is where, Spirit says, this is where we start in November because of the incredible progress that you have made. Okay, so I'm going to switch back one more time. I'd like to just peer into the center card, Spirit says, from last month, where we see this woman in a red dress sitting over someone who has passed. And, the depth of agony, Spirit says, of that moment. And in this transition, part of what has had to happen that has been necessary is not only to be bringing your energy into balance in order to attend to your feelings and your experience of being in this world, it's also about your own experience inside yourself. Perhaps things that have happened for you in a real way, but what Spirit's telling me is the real message is about your transition through these issues, through your feelings about them, changing and shifting and bringing your vibration into the ability to shift and change, to create what is needed in terms of arising. And Spirit's talking about the word emergence. So let me show you the card that has to do with you in this reading. It's going to blow your mind, Libra. Look at that. Look at that. You have been on a very sacred quest of skill, about raising your vibration. Well, Spirit's talking about activating, actually. It's not about raising, it's about activating that which exists within you in order to have a regestation with all the spirit wisdom that exists and surrounds you. Very deeply regestating. And the leaves that flutter in this card on the left are about anxiety and overwhelm. And Spirit's saying, we know This has been a difficult rebirth. It's been quite a challenge. And you are accompanied by all of the sacred manifestations that can be, Spirit says, found in the deck. The Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck, which I think I forgot to say. Sorry about that. So here we see someone, an adult person, having an experience of returning to the womb inside themselves. And the energy that is bringing you forward is a sacred remembrance about the set point that you came into this world with, Spirit says, and living through your days came to these moments where you remember yourself and experience what is, in some ways, a regestation. And if you would like to take the time, Spirit is suggesting that you look up eagle and crow and salmon and owl and elk. Go to the internet. Look at the animal medicine wisdom that comes about these sacred energy set points that accompany you in order to help you understand the deepest meaning inside this visualization of the process you've been in. So we've seen in October and November notifications of a death and of the sorrow and the pathway that it led you down as you attempt to do your job, Spirit says, take your journey when it comes to these issues. You are meant to have a transition that is that deep. And so as you walk through December, and Spirit's talking about walking into both the passage tombs and your own transition and change in order for a rebirth to happen. It's a beautiful message. I'd like to toggle down, and I'm going to show you the cards that come on the human walk, having come through all of these places. Actually, and you know what? Spirit wants me to show you one other thing. Before we do, I have a lot of images loaded up because Spirit's been chattering about them through all the readings. So, hang on one sec. It just takes me a minute to find it in the list. There we go. All right, so Spirit says, think about these images, these illustrations in the widest possible way as you understand your journey through the month of December. It is about approaching the solstice and the sacred events that are going to transpire in the 5 or 6 days around the actual date of the solstice. So Spirit's now talking about the null passage tomb and wanting me to show you an image that I captured with my cell phone camera while I was there. I went into the passage tomb. I was able to get the key and go in by myself. I actually, thankfully, had a friend with me. It was a really intense journey for me, somewhat frightening, but really beautiful. So we went into the passage tomb. It's guarded by a big iron door. It's basically pitch black in there. I propped open the door and sat down, put a blanket down, started doing the readings. And I think 4 readings came out from this particular passage tomb. As I started doing the readings, I had kind of propped the door open. The wind came by, or, I don't know really, but the door slowly shut. And there we were plunged into relative darkness. There was one little pinhole shaft of light. So the readings came out in the very deepest way that I've experienced as a card reader through the spirit energy in that particular passage tomb. And when the readings were done, a big gust of wind came by and blew the door open. And that's what we saw. It was a moment of profound transformation, an epiphany, if you will, for me, about the purpose of these passage tombs and the messages that still emanate from them 5,000 years and more on from the time that they were utilized or built, Spirit says. So, we know about this kind of transition and what it is from the people who have had near-death experiences. They all talk about passing through a tunnel, moving toward a bright light, feeling themselves being in transition, in a state of joy and anticipation. And that is the journey you are having this month. Beautiful Libra. It's very exciting to me. So let's take a walk together through the human aspect of this journey as you approach the days of the solstice. And here we are. That is the notification, if you will, about the journey that you are on. As you approach these days, Spirit says. So the very first card is another beautiful major arcana card coming out from the Spirit. This month is calling it the Sacred Celtic Wisdom Tarot. It is the beautiful protector. And not just the protector, it is the protector of lore. So followed by the rememberer of lore, which illuminates this reading, we come to the beautiful protector of lore. This is about coming into a place of wholeness. And clearly, it's about the solstice. It's about the passage tombs. We see the indication of the wisdom of the ancients. These are the moments in which you come into success and attainment, the wholeness of your nature, experiencing simple joys and pleasures. It's about coming into a place of deep gratitude for the existence that you have, Spirit says, life. It's about coming to a place of safety after these days of peril. And Spirit's talking about just, simple joy and contentedness. So when you move through your regestation and you step into the wisdom and the experience of coming into the solstice, Spirit's talking about metamorphosis. All right, so the protector of lore, the metamorphosis into this place is about coming into the ability, if you will, to bring your energy into the realm of simplicity and joy, where it can reveal itself and its natural gifts. I'm going to show you the card. Let me transition over. Hang on. Look at that. Libra, that's... Whew. As you can tell, I'm a little bit speechless, which for me is a big deal because I talk a lot. Look at that. The protector of lore. You are coming into your ability to be one of the sacred golden threads of this tapestry that Spirit has been building, bringing all the shift and change and all the portals and the full moons and the eclipses that came this year. This is the destination you've been walking towards, Spirit says, coming into your sacred set point in order to be able to actually do the work that you are meant to do with your energy set point. So there's a lot coming through. I'll talk about that as we go along. So that's the first step. Let's toggle back so you can look at the rest of the cards. Obviously, I guess, Spirit's saying, obviously, a brand new life. In this place, in these days of solstice, and we see a second representation of that through this beautiful card. It's about transition. It's about reincarnation, regestation, the promise that was given by the two cards over the top. And there's Elk again. That is about, clearly, strength, maturity. Spirit's talking about being a full-fledged adult and all the wisdom that comes with that, and the ability to stand in the light of this sun, coming across a long journey. Elk medicine is about stamina for a long journey and the wisdom and the knowledge to know how to harvest the times of the seasons. That's what Spirit's talking about. All right. A lot of messaging about that. Let me just finish telling you about the card. So that's a warrior. that's you. And we've seen depictions of you as a warrior in the last 3 months. And we've seen the King of Art, the Pathfinder, the warrior who has sacred vision to be able to find a path in the light of the sun. So again, all of this foreshadowing, bringing us to this moment. So this warrior lived a very long time, a very unnaturally long existence, Spirit says. And in the days when his transition began, he did not die. He reincarnated in his place and came to this new set point. And it's a process that took eons, Spirit says. Having come across this long journey, the waters of shift and change, and through his shift and change, there is a revelation of sacred knowledge. And again, I'm going to toggle back to the cards. The sacred knowledge that comes to you because of your energetic set point, and now being illuminated by the Rememberer of Lore, ushering you into the phase of your existence that has to do with this major arcana card, about being the protector of sacred lore, acknowledging the sacred set point that you have that also exists across humanity. And true, Spirit says, this is true for you, in part because of your set point as an air sign. And when you think about that, and you think about all of that that emanates from you, and is meant to go out, Spirit saying, across the land, that energy, I'm really feeling it. That emanates from you and blows into the world. That is your mission going forward into 2018. And so this is the story of how you arrive. It's incredibly beautiful. So let's look at that next card, okay? I want to show it to you. That is the beautiful judgment of battle. In these moments, Spirit says, after the solstice, and as you come into the early days of 2018, this will be your aspect. It's about standing in your place, having been perhaps a bit tattered. And if we remember those cards about the battles you've had in October and November, and through the year, Spirit says, this is to just affirm for you again. That was tough. You won. You came out victorious. This is a story about a young lad, kind of David and Goliath kind of story a little bit, who fought a battle against a king, and the king's Irish wolfhound. And if you don't know what an Irish wolfhound is, it's one of the biggest dogs that exist. They're huge. Right. So he was able to slay the hound and win the battle and come to this place of safety. There's the hut behind him. And now just stand in your place and have some time to think about that and rest and evaluate how it is you'd like to go forward from this place. Spirit just wants to acknowledge the type of transition you've had. It's really lovely. All right, so going forward from there, seeing this new set point emerge. Spirit's actually correcting me. Spirit's talking about the word emergence. It's coming through a lot. And as you emerge and travel through these days into this moment of rest, this moment of consideration, this moment of judgment and thought, the bridge card that takes you from this human experience into the spirit journey that is occurring simultaneously is also about new life. Let me transition over so you can see the card and I will show it to you. Look at that. That's incredible. Spirit's telling me to be quiet for a minute. That's not great for a video, but so just so you can feel the impact of that. And there are tears welling up inside of me because of the depth and beauty of this transition. And Spirit says the bravery. That judgment of battle card is there to acknowledge you and your bravery and your ability and your willingness to take this journey. It was not easy, but there is something inside of you that urged you forward into this beautiful place of new life. So that is the sacred Queen of Skill. And so when we see these cards coming out about being on a quest of skill, and the center card that is aspect of you in this energy, it's a quest of skill. And the quest is about being reborn into a new place within yourself. So again, the center line of cards, very intense energy set point, coming into the place in which you are destined, says Spirit. Do you see the activation of that which receives you? Having been transformed and reborn through this mystical process and re-arriving, Spirit says, here in this place, there is the sacred key. And one of the things I love about this card, about the Queen of Skill, is she has these horses that's about the movement of energy and power. And she receives you into the arms of beautiful, sacred, feminine energy through this beautiful male warrior's journey. It is the beautiful blessing of the yin and yang and the joining for a new life. It's incredible, Libra. There's the spiral. You see the triple spiral there unfolding? It's really beautiful. So as you come through, know that in the days following, there will be some time to rest and repair, think about, and then you are going to feel this transition come upon you. And let's look at the Spirit Walk. Something really beautiful is unfolding, and Spirit's talking about coming into the deepest aspect of your nature, and the cards definitely show it. The first card on the left is the gorgeous High Priestess. She is the guardian of the gateway in this deck. She has the ability to stand at the gateway to welcome you on your journey. And that is why she's here in the spirit line of this reading, with the Sacred Mother illuminating her job, her existence, her ability. And that is how you stand. The reflection of your journey in the spirit realm, with your power in your hand, standing in the mystical realm, all of your intention, your life cycle unfolding from your heart chakra as it has been, Spirit says. Look at that. The guardian of the gateway. And again, Spirit's talking about the passage tombs, wanting you to know that as you approach the solstice, she will meet you. You are going to have your human walk as it has come out. This is the woman who meets you on the days of the solstice as you walk through this journey. I'm going to toggle back so you can see it again in its fullness, Spirit says. And then, so that's a major arcana card. Right next to her, another major arcana card. And Spirit says, this is really, truly your set point in these days. And please look at the very center line of cards about the journey that you're on and the place in which you come to rest while you transition and change. It is about coming into this place of sacred balance. It's really, Spirit's, there's a sort of a fire hose of words coming through, so pardon me. Spirit's talking about the way in which your energy now stands in the sacred realm. All right? So that is the balancer of harmony, which is the quest of skill that you've been on, trying to understand these things that happen in the world and in your life and bring them to a place of harmony and through this shift and change. So, aligned with this beautiful guardian at the gateway, bringing you protection and safety so that you can stand in your place with the unfolding of the universe, receiving what you are meant to receive. You in these moments come into the deepest place of balance and integrity that is available to you, given your set point, if you will, as a Libra. So let's take a look at the card together, okay? Look at that, Libra. One of the things I love about the display of this card, first of all, it's sacred female energy, the energy of shift and change and portals. The Spirit's talking about the sacred female set point of being a portal. And that's, you've seen this in your journey, the feminine portal through which life comes. As you balance your energy, having been transformed from the inside out, look at that, rewoven, reborn, regestated, standing in the deepest place that exists with your sacred energy set point, returning to do the job it's meant to do inside of you, and for the world at large. So I'm going to toggle back. I want to show you the next card. It's a continuation of the words that we're just streaming through. So, a couple things. The Spirit says that's the point. That's the turning of the sacred spiral in a very mystical, mysterious way. And again, we see a sacred instrument. Standing, I'm going to toggle back. Look where it's standing. Look at the far right-hand row. Another depiction of the sacred instrument on your spirit journey. This is the beautiful adventure of art. When you take this adventure through the days of December, walking into the passage of tomb in order to have your shift and change at the solstice. So Spirit's talking about going into that place, the approach, and then emerging in this way in order to recapture what has been lost. So this was the sacred bard of the clan. His instrument and his ability to sing the sacred songs were very important. They did hold the lore. He did protect the sacred information that was passed down in a verbal tradition. A battle ensued and the sacred instrument was stolen because it was known that that would bring a lot of damage. He had to then go to the enemy encampment under cloak at night and sit outside the encampment and chant and sing the songs that will cause the sacred instrument to rise through the air and return to its rightful place. And he was successful. And this is the journey you've been on. And by so doing, helping all of humanity turn the spiral toward our sacred destiny. Libra. It's just really, there's a fire hose of words coming through, and at the same time I'm having trouble speaking because the energy of the words that are coming and the message that comes in ways that have no words, really, really deep. I'm going to toggle back and we're going to talk about the outcome card. And, as the cards came out, I began to wonder, okay, what could be the end of this particular story? And when it came out, I was really thrilled. It's the perfect, from my way of thinking. Here it is. Look at that. What could be better than that? Cycling through this shift and change in order to become ready, to become a warrior of skill. So look at the center line for a second. We see the rememberer of lore shining a light on your journey, on your regestation, giving you a pathway to travel through the quest of skill and transition into your desired place as the protector of sacred lore, able to disseminate that. And coming through the sacred days of the solstice, when the sun arises, you are transformed and you have the days available to you to understand the battle you have been waging. And in those moments, a new life begins, protected by the guardian of the gateway. While you balance your energy, look at this center line, the vertical center line of these cards, and how that journey is accompanied in such a beautiful, sacred way. And toward the finish of this journey in the month of December, we then have this beautiful incarnation into your deep warrior nature. And there it is. In these days, Spirit says. Okay, so Spirit's telling me the elk and this gentleman are one and the same. He holds his personal power in his hands. He has the ability to create his own sustenance. He has the abundance that he needs for himself and for the energy that carries him forward. He is a warrior of skill. He stands at the ready, awaiting the sacred impulse for his next adventure. He has everything that he needs to go forward. He has been transformed, and he stands in the mystical realm. And when the sacred impulse takes him, Spirit says, he has a beautiful strength of intention and purity and the means to move that forward. That's what the story's about with this gentleman. You know, in the deck, he's known to be impulsive in a sense. It is not a negative thing. It's an intense positive, responding to sacred impulse. And so what's coming through is not only is that your set point as you move into the new year, that is the set point that has driven you through this journey all the way through 2017. And Spirit says, in a way, you return to yourself through this sacred transformation. Spirit's talking to me about movies. And I can't, wanting me to talk about movie, I'm so overcome with emotion, I can't think of a movie that would illustrate this. But apparently, you will understand, you know, there are movies, what's the Spirit saying? There are movies about this kind of transition, about a sacred shift and change within a lifetime that one is destined to have. It is that kind of a story, Libra. So as you move into, through the solstice and emerge from the passage tomb, I'm going to toggle back to the cards so you can see that. Spirit wants me to show you one more moment of, okay, Spirit wants me to show you Newgrange. Talking about the energy that came from Newgrange that helped you on this journey in the last couple of months. And then also this beautiful notion, if you will, of emerging on the day of the solstice, coming into the light of your own transition and emerging into that which causes you to become more truly who you are. And in the light, walking toward this transition across to the other side, and yet emerging here in this way. You have completed, Spirit says, the mission, if you will, of your journey in 2017 in a spectacular fashion. So there's a lot of thanks coming through, a lot of sort of honoring you and wanting to be really clear about the beautiful journey that you've had. And thank you very much, Libra, for everything that you have done, everything that you intend to do, and all that you are. It's a wonderful tale, and I'm very grateful that you've been willing to be patient enough with me while I've been on my own journey of shift and change and growth. And I hope to see you, some of you at least, on the 9th of December. And certainly we'll be thinking about you at the solstice, and very eager to speak with you in January about what begins to unfold, having all of the transition that we have had as a group of beings, Spirit says. So have a wonderful holiday in whatever way you celebrate, with friends and family and loved ones. I hope you have a joyous season, a wonderful new year, and I'll speak to you, Spirit says, on the other side. Thank you, Libra.